March 13th, we won the war. March 14th, please help us. March 15th, if you don't help us, I'll certainly remember. March 16th, actually, we don't need any help at all. I was just testing to see who's listening to me. If NATO doesn't help, they will suffer something very bad. What I've actually got tonight is I have what we're calling around here a Chucky buck, but it's actually it's a Kentucky buck. So in essence, it's an old fashioned with macerated strawberry and topped with a little ginger beer.
Oh, that sounds fabulous.
It's really good.
Fabulous use of the word macerated, by the way.
Done. Thank you.
That word is in fact just in my head today for some reason.
I thought it might be an apt descriptor for the U.S. envoy, the U.S. delegation to the peace talks happening in Pakistan earlier today.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely. JD Vance. Jared, it's you're in trouble when Jared Kushner is the most qualified guy.
The adult in the room,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That does not bode well for us.
So far it hasn't, man. So far,
I'll drink to that though. I'll drink to Rome burning, I suppose.
I mean. The way I was really going to start this off was I was going to lay out exactly where we are as a country really quick. Just a brief summation of what has happened since the start of Trump's second term, based on the actions of not only Trump, but the sycophants that enable him around him, the Republican Party, the conservative members of the Supreme Court, et cetera, even people that are now critical of him, such as Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly. Apparently, they've really.
Oh yeah, Megyn Kelly. All of a sudden, Tim Pool, I hear is turning. Oh yeah, Tim Pool
for a couple weeks, but all right, let's lay out really quick where I think we are as of this point in Trump's second term.
Fill our listeners and viewers in as to where we are as a country right now.
So 3 very short statements.
Okay.
Donald Trump and the Republican Party has so far destroyed the credibility and soft power that was the backbone of our global diplomatic relationships. I think anybody.
Agree more. I have been screaming that from the rooftops. It's one of the biggest, the most tragic losses of all that will come of all of this is the severing of so many of our diplomatic ties and relationships and just our soft power around the world, not for our betterment, but also for the betterment that it can do for as a stabilizing force across the world.
Mm-hmm. For everybody.
Yes, which everybody has benefited, it seems, from one country having this hegemony and keeping just a stable playing field, essentially, that threat that having one so dominant of a force kind of just, I don't know, somebody way smarter than me was floating this idea that I'm parroting now, and I wish I could remember who I got it from.
Well, I will say it's a balance that can't hold forever, because there are always going to be there's going to be some other aspirational nation, especially 100%. When there are other countries that have a larger population than ours.
What country might this be you're alluding to, Matthew?
Well, we are the third most populous country in the world, so there's only 2 others it could be. It really starts to narrow it down.
See, the beauty in that is that we don't have anything to worry about from that country whatsoever from a military standpoint.
Nothing to be concerned about. They definitely weren't just.
They have no aspirations against us.
Yeah.
That's right. I missed something there because I feel like it kind of cut out as you were laying that punchline down.
Oh, I just said they definitely weren't. They definitely did not just test a brand new next gen jet the other day. This country that I might have in mind.
Sure. And I mean, like every country, when you get to that size, I mean, they've all got militaries. Like, we're still like the last ones to talk, seeing as our military still represents, gosh, I'd love to know the most recent numbers, but historically, almost a majority, if not just a hair under, of the entire planet's military spending.
I can look it up here really quick.
Oh, wow. That'd be cool to know.
Let's see. This is, of course, there might be a little bit of fudging of the numbers, but when you're talking about such disparities, I think that a little bit of fudging isn't going to make this up. So, if we're
Yeah.
looking at the 40 countries with the highest military spending worldwide in 2024, this is just per Wikipedia, so these numbers are going to vary. Let's say by $100 billion potentially here and there. Um, United States is just shy of $1 trillion, which is 35.5% of global spending, where China is at about $315 billion, which is 11.2% of global spending. And behind that is Russia, which is halved, Germany roughly halved again, and then it starts to level out as you go down, India,
Yeah.
UK, etc. So, yeah, nearly
Mostly
$1 trillion, and certainly that we know from the budgets that we've seen since 2024 that this is not as much as we're spending now. I mean, these
surprising.
assholes have the gall to be asking for an extra $200 billion for
Yeah.
this ongoing war in Iran.
And none of that even accounts for the internal military operation. Like ICE is essentially, I don't know where they would come in on that list at their current budgetary status, but
Hmm.
they are essentially one of the largest military forces on Earth now. I bet if
Yeah.
you just judged ICE by their current budget status as a military force, current budget status, troops, whatever, they would be in the top 10 in worldwide military forces.
I
Maybe
think
top
it
20.
actually
Top 20
puts
for sure.
them in the top five,
Oh,
according to the
fuck, that's
2024
depressing.
numbers.
Oh,
But
that's crazy depressing.
if looking at this again, it's about what they've got about $75 billion dollars in
Sounds right.
funding. Um, let's see, rollover funding of $75 billion roughly. I mean, yeah, they're you could send ICE against Iran and have a fighting chance as much
Oh
as you'd
man,
have. You know
I'd
what I mean?
love to see that. That is an idea I can get behind. You wanna? Oh man, you guys really want to be the Johnny Badasses you are pretending to be? Guess what, boys? We got an opportunity for you.
Well, and in
Show them what your word.
it actually that actually uh, leads into the second statement of what has happened in Trump's
Ooh,
second term here, which is through this war in Iran, at best by underestimating them. Uh, we have shown the inherent weakness of U.S. military's reliance on boutique weaponry,
mhm.
of this high cost, uh,
Roar.
this high.
F-35 fighter, like the most expensive weapon system ever fucking developed.
Mhm, mhm.
Man, I've been
Eh,
on about these fucking things for what feels like probably a decade now. I don't know how long this project has been going, but the amount of money that it took above and beyond what the initial estimates were is just an insane figure.
mhm.
And like what they break down to when you look at the whole as a cost plane by plane is still just
It's incredible.
Unbelievable. It's an
Yeah.
unbelievable fucking number.
Well, in an era of drones and for lack of a better term, it's so loaded now with so many meanings, but essentially artificial intelligence, advanced guidance systems for missiles, rocketry. There's
Against a lot of that shit, you don't even need that. You need just something that you can throw like some precision garbage in front of them. I mean, that's
mm,
all like black and those kind of systems have always been. But if you can get something to put itself in front of that jet when it's moving at speed, a drone type craft that can use that AI to, okay, it knows the jet's coming, and all it's got to do is just stay in front of it.
yeah.
It's relatively easy to do. The plane's not going to be able to help but hit it, and whatever sort of injury causing payload that drone is carrying impacts that craft, and
Mm.
extremely low tech, low cost to take down
Well, and especially when you're not
a
talking
series of
about
especially.
the top of the line, highest dollar, most maneuverable, insane jets in the world. But when you're talking about C-130s, for
Yeah,
example,
real easy to take down something like that, and that's still an expensive loss depending on the
exceedingly
hardware
expensive.
inside it,
Yes.
depending on
Yes.
what it's carrying.
Especially depending on what it's carrying. But even like as advanced as these things are, like,
Relatively, a C-130, that's something we can pump out tons of, and they're, as military aircraft go, probably pretty relatively inexpensive. They're huge. I
well,
mean, they cost a lot because they're big and they have
they're also extra expensive in the a number of personnel that's just required to be on it
true, all of that
to
factors
make
in
it function at all.
100%.
So like the inherent load on a C-130 that's even empty, that's going to a place to pick shit up, you've still got pilot, co-pilot, load master. Like you've got multiple
But I
people on
mean,
these planes.
as it stands right now, we're not at a shortage for troops. Like we have the capacity, we've got the numbers to put
Mhm.
people in the planes to make things
Is
work.
that why
Roughly.
we're kicking back up
Let me
force
rephrase that. Let
for
me
signing on to what is it? Is it I forget what it is because it's been so long. So I signed up
yeah,
for it when I turned 18, but basically to sign up for the
selective
draft.
services.
Selective
Yes.
service. Thank you.
All right. Let me rephrase that. Let me caveat that historically before the current
When
philosophy.
we're actually
We are. Oh
legitimately
yeah. Troops are fucking like intentionally failing drug tests and doing all sorts of shit to get kicked out because they don't want to go fucking die in a bloodbath over there.
not only that, but so okay. At the end of the Biden administration, they finally had picked numbers back up in recruiting post COVID. And even pre-COVID, there's been problems. It's been tough for a lot longer than recent history, honestly, recruitment
Absolutely.
numbers in the military. But
Absolutely.
by
And
the
even
Biden
dropping
administration,
before COVID, like these doesn't
yeah,
sell very well. So like
but the Biden administration was slowly picking those numbers up, changing recruitment strategies, changing messaging, things like that, moving away from some of the leftover shit from the '90s and early 2000s. Honestly, that
yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
stuck around for so long, and kind
Which
of
is
picking that up.
something we need to do. Like the military needs to stay, it needs to stay on point with what's going on in the world. You have to, it has to stay current to the threats that are out there. Like,
Well, and in that regard, when there's still this crisis in recruiting because they're still behind, it was recovering but still hemorrhaging people. What does the Trump administration do? Say if you're a black woman, we're going to fight against you getting promoted. If you're black, actually, sorry, I think it's black or woman. Oh wait, no,
all
actually, I think
poor
it's
woman, yes.
black or brown or woman or potentially,
It's
uh, maybe a
it's
little bit
brown
liberal.
women
Like
specifically that he doesn't want to be on stage
he doesn't
with,
want to be
or
on stage next
he
to.
doesn't want to
Yeah,
be seen with. So like that's the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Once he
Yeah.
refers to as boogers in the Epstein files,
It's so God, it's so disgusting. But like
fucking
so
horrible.
in the midst of that, with all this talk about rebuilding the military and all that shit, what do? They send out fucking
My ass.
Pete Kegstand and they undermine it. They undermine the recruiting in the military, and then they send people to war. And then they're like, the draft was like a
Wait,
great
wait,
idea.
don't forget, you're skipping a step here. We fired tons and tons of generals with lots of
Tons. And and still are
experience.
trying to force them out or
Yeah,
fire them.
are trying to get rid of more that aren't like super toeing the line. But there's no potential danger in getting rid of all that institutional knowledge or leadership, is there?
No, no, and that certainly doesn't cost us any money also. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
extended
yeah, yeah.
time,
I mean,
the mistakes that might happen, such as
it,
bombing a girls' school of 100 killing 160 school children and teachers.
you
Uh,
know, accidents happen. Like
I,
you got to break a few eggs every now and again.
I'd say it's war, but if you say it's war, then the media jumps on you and says you have to have congressional approval, and you just can't say it's war. So I'm
Yes,
calling it an excursion. In an excursion, sometimes 160 school children die. I
yeah.
wanted to end sincerely with this list of statements from Trump about the Iran war from its inception to now. Some of this is sourced from a fantastic list from Reddit that I actually used to kind of go back and look at uh various I over the last week I probably watched a good 6 hours of Donald Trump just talking about the Iran war. Oh, and narrowed down specifically to a lot of these phrases. So it's actually been kind of fascinating to
I
watch.
want your hard work to bear fruit then, for sure.
So let's start with February 28th. War were declared, except for it's not war, of course, because we can't call it war, because if you call it war, it's got to be approved by Congress. So
Happy
it's not
birthday to this guy. February 28th, war were declared. Woo!
uh, one
Whee!
quote from the day, though. The United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. A few
Fucking buy
days
a
later,
thesaurus. Jesus Christ. Can somebody buy the fucking DOD a thesaurus or a fucking somebody who knows how to write a sentence?
well, if we
Right.
hired anybody competent, then how are we going to get anything done?
Good point. We're not hiring fucking sentence writers. We're hiring war
Where
puppets.
we're going, we don't need competent people. So
Warning.
fast forwarding a little bit through some of this, I got date stamps for all of these. Some of these are paraphrased, some of them are direct quotes, but well, I say actually all of these are direct quotes, but some of them are paraphrasing the idea of the day. So March 3rd, we won the war. March 7th, we defeated Iran. March 9th, we must attack Iran. The war is ending almost completely and very beautifully. March 9th, we took a little excursion because we felt we had to do that to get rid of some evil. And I think you'll see it's going to be a short term excursion. March 12th, we did win, but we haven't won completely yet. March 13th, we won the war. March 14th, please help us. March 15th, if you don't help us, I'll certainly remember. March 16th, actually, we don't need any help at all. I was just testing to see who's listening to me. If NATO doesn't help, they will suffer something very bad. March 17th, we neither need nor want NATO's help. I don't need congressional approval to withdraw from NATO. March 18th, our allies must cooperate in reopening the Strait of Hormuz. March 19th, U.S. allies need to get a grip. They need to step up and help open the Strait of Hormuz. March 20th, NATO are cowards. March 21st, we don't use it. We don't need to open it regarding the Strait. March 22nd, this is the last time I will give Iran 48 hours. Quote, Iran is dead. March 23rd, we are giving them more time. March 24th, the war is nearing its end. March 25th, we are still negotiating. March 26th, Iran is begging for peace. They gave us a gift. We will give them more time. March 27th, talks with Iran are going very well. March 28th, War will be over soon. March 29th. We take Karg Island, maybe we don't. March 30th. Open the strait or we will obliterate all energy infrastructure and oil wells. That's a paraphrase. March 31st. We don't need the strait. We have got plenty of oil. Get it yourself, UK. Another paraphrase. April 1st. Iran wants a ceasefire. I am strongly considering pulling out of NATO. There is no deal with Iran. April 3rd, we can take their oil and make a fortune. April 5th, open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. April 6th, the United States could charge for passage through the Strait of Hormuz. April 7th, a whole civilization will die tonight. Later, of course, ceasefire is agreed upon on the basis of the Iranian 10-point plan. April 8th, we are thinking of doing it as a joint venture regarding tolls on ships passing through the strait. April 9th, there are reports that Iran is charging tolls to tankers going through the Strait of Hormuz. They better not be, and if they are, they better stop now. April 10th, the strait will open automatically when we leave. We don't use the strait. Leading to April 11th, with Jared Kushner being the most qualified representative of the United States in the fucking room, as over a dozen representatives, a dozen leaders from Iran show up in Pakistan to negotiate an end to this war. Experts, PhD holders, leaders of the Iranian government, of the Iranian country, that supposedly have all been killed in this glorious victory. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna fucking stick pencils up my nose right now and hit them with a hammer. That's where I'm fucking at with all of it. Like, and every fucking thing that you said, every up and down turn of this R-worded saga was designed with an ulterior motive, and it was for people in the know to fucking manipulate shit along the way and make money. Every single thing. None of this was done with some fucking high-minded purpose of protecting the American people from some threat. Everything was just a fucking grift.
We obliterated the nuclear capacity last June 2nd, so far as I heard. So,
fucking exactly. And you know what? This is my big realization, my large, like, I wish we had another 2 hours to fucking talk about just Iran. But my big takeaway from all this, because it's a topic that I put a lot of interest into for literal decades now. For as long as it is that I've known that the population of that country ends very young, uh, and also, and contrary to everything that we hear in Western popular media and all the death to America that you see, the general population of that country has largely been clamoring to be westernized for decades. They've never wanted the Islamic oppression that came with the revolution, which, of course, we're not going to get into the whole history of Iran and us installing the Shah.
Yeah.
All that aside, this is a country that if we would have chosen to, and you can almost dial this back at any point in history up to before this conflict, almost immediately before this conflict, it would have been a perfect opportunity to empower the people of that country to actually positively do something for that people, help them throw off the reins of the impression that we fucking put on them. And just fucking actually help people of that country. They want that. The polling for decades has indicated that they consistently, for decades now, have polled most favorable towards America in the West when you ask the broader population. Like they, and like I'm again kind of paraphrasing with this data a little bit, but there's a lot of data showing that they want to join the larger world. They don't want fucking oppression. They want to go back to Iran in the 60s and 70s when it was cosmopolitan as fuck and looked like Paris in the Middle East. That population has wanted this. It's part of their fucking collective history that they know because it's not that long in the past. And like they still want that. They still want to be a normal, I say normal, like that's a terrible choice of words. They want to be.
I mean, I think normal's apt when you're talking about the difference between a country that is overtly oppressed by global forces and their government overthrown. They're subject to a mow the tall grass down sort of approach by Israel and the United States to basically destabilize local governments and weaken their military infrastructure at the
While being like
aggrandizement of
Stockholm
Israel.
syndrome conditioned to believe that their only chance for survival is to stick together and rally around the family and circle the wagons and fucking death to America. Well, existential threat, engaged, bam.
Mm-hmm.
All those roads are now closed fucking ever.
Yeah. No, I think the best we can do for Iran is to bomb the fuck out of them, subject them to our United States economic control, and tell them that now is the time to overthrow their government.
Yeah. Yeah. At what point
Do
does
it.
Donald
No,
Trump
no,
like
do it now.
women and children? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. After
Oh,
after
wait,
we
we let the IDF rape their women and children first, and then we let them. We tell them.
I mean, they're already there. And
I mean, they're
and
already
and
there. Like,
you know,
they're doing
what better time for civilians to overthrow their government than when civilian infrastructure has been destroyed and you are concerned about things like clean water and food and
being alive.
basic
Yeah.
transportation. Yeah, like that's a great time to also overthrow the only semblance of stabilization that you might have.
Yes. And have the responsibility of trying to build a functional government out of that.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. In the face of a of the IRGC, uh,
Yes.
yeah,
And
totally.
economic sanctions and warlords trying to fill every vacuum within a country mile. Like
Yeah, are
minor
you
obstacles,
are
minor
you
minor inconveniences.
are you kneeling, prostrating to the United States capitalists yet? Like, have you?
Right? Have
Come
you even
on,
said thank you? Have you
come on,
even
Iranian man. What path do you choose?
have you even said thank you, Iranian man? Come
Have you
on.
even said thank you, Iran? Have you even considered?
Maybe
Man,
he's
that's
surely
probably.
gonna ask him while he's there.
I hope he does. I hope he does because not only do we deserve a
He's
thank
gonna be
you,
dodging more than shoes.
not only do we deserve a thank you, but we deserve an apology for bombing
Yes.
the fuck out of your country.
Exactly.